welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween. We are here in costume. If you are listening, this is a regular subscriber where you get your podcast. It is November 1st. But
Right.
As a special,
you cheapos don't get the good stuff.
Exactly.
On Halloween.
And as a special treat, we are going to upload the YouTube video a day early.
It's up so you can see our costumes and you can be a part of the fun on Halloween.
Exactly. We are in costume, and for those of you who wouldn't like to see this visual masterpiece that we are as here, Jared is dressed as a gigantic bumblebee.
I am a bumble. I mean, look at the touches I put in the socks.
Yeah, you really went all out.
I really went all out. And you, a painter.
Yes, you thought I was just a Frenchman.
I thought you were a French woman.
This is my second year in a row wearing a mustache for Halloween.
Yes. It is funny.
And it could be the internalized misogyny that the Redditors accuse me of having.
Right.
So that I just want to be a man.
You got to play it out.
Exactly. But no, I'm a painter because I have a lot of painting to do, as we've discussed recently about my house.
That's right. You're ready to go.
It's many different colors, and I'm ready to change it. So I've got my little paint.
I love it.
My little paint palette and my brushes.
I thought you went as a Frenchman to give the middle finger to the new British bosses here.
Right.
That's what I thought. Their biggest rivals. You were like,
yeah, I'm trying
to
mess with them. My second week on the job.
Right.
That would be bold of me. But
look,
no.
you went male, I went female with a bumblebee. We are so progressive.
Is a bee a woman?
I think the bumblebee, it's the queen bee.
The queen bee. Oh, you're the queen bee.
Right,
Is there a crown?
Kim.
Okay, you are the queen bee.
Right.
Yes, the head bee in charge.
HBIC.
Yeah, I guess we reverse gender roles here.
That's right. This is all good stuff here. We're ahead of the curve.
Yes.
How
does this compare to the horse costume? A little less warm?
A little less warm is good
Yeah.
because there's a fan in here to blow up the bee costume. And if you're watching on YouTube and you've never been to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Hit that little button.
Your bee is covering your mouth. I'm like, I feel like you're going to be suffocated by this bee by the time it's...
It did feel like when I put it on, I was like, am I putting on a trash bag to suffocate myself with? Like, it was like literally has that element. And then, yeah, now...
You look great.
Thank you.
I love it. Maybe even more than the horse. I don't know. The horse, you were doing the neighs. What does the bee make?
Buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz.
I feel like a bee is a little bit more like sassy, like what's
Right.
going on, like
Hey.
buzz buzz.
Just buzzing on by.
Right.
A little nosy.
Although your horse impressions can't really do it.
Yeah, I'm happy you queued me up for a little horsey.
There we go.
No, I like to go as things that a toddler would recognize, and that sounds creepy as a 38-year-old man with no kids or anything. But I just think it's like the most fun thing.
Yeah, here's the thing: unless you unless you're extremely creative with being able to morph into something else in a DIY thing, it's like I think it's just easier to go simple.
Right. I'm with you. Anytime a man tries to dress sexy, it looks like they had this idea of they get to dress sexy.
Right.
Like when a woman does it, you go, cool, you're letting your inhibitions fly. When a guy does it, you're like, boy, you really thought about this. Like you, Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah. You're like, a lot of guy liner. Like,
what do you think is the best costume for getting laid?
I believe
that it's this.
That this bee
is
gonna be buzzing up some pussy.
Okay. Actually, though, let's say you were not. Let's say
consensual bee.
Getting some honey.
Yeah, deep in that honey.
Let's say you were
How
not.
About I lick that honey, honey. Okay,
let's say you were not a comedian.
Okay.
And you were just a regular Joe Schmo.
Dressed as a bee.
Going to a Halloween costume. What is your recommendation for men trying to hook up Halloween night?
I guess, what would you want? What would you want? What's an approachable male costume to you have to, here's the thing. You have to walk that line of funny, but not too much.
I agree. I think this is a little too much.
What?
At a party.
On my own podcast.
At a party. party.
I can't believe it.
Like if I saw you at a party,
You're buzzing up the wrong tree.
This is perfect for this show.
No, I agree. If you saw someone walk in a blow-up bee costume,
if you went to like
when
a
does it
Soho
end?
House party,
I am.
Are you dressing like this?
Of course.
No, you're not.
What else would I have? One costume. This costs a lot of honey.
But this is your job.
Right. People are like, oh, well, also me dressed up as this, oh, Jerry, funny man. You know, look at, oh, make a big spectacle of himself.
I don't feel like in a regular party scene you want to get that much attention.
Yeah, I don't want to create a sting.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Don't paint me with that brush. You're painting. No, what we?
Paint you like
you're
one of
right.
your French
This would be
girls.
too much.
Yeah.
Because what you don't.
And you were right. I understand. You're like, this is your job.
Right.
You're here to make a sting. But I think regular party.
Right. What would you want? You want funny? Do you want like? Here's the thing. It's the same thing as like there's a butt for every seat.
Right.
Like there's some people that like go so deep cut that when they tell me the joke, I go, wow, good for you. Like you're thoughtful.
Yeah, but I didn't get it unless it requires explanation.
I'm like, I must need a library card to speak to you.
Yeah, that's too much too.
Like this costume tells everybody, I don't read. I hope it tells people that.
That's the idea.
Right.
You're not winning the spelling bee. Ha. Anyway.
Every pun will get me today.
Yeah. Or it's a pun.
Right.
It's a punny kind of day.
Put your puns in the comment section of the YouTube channel.
Your bee puns.
Yeah, your bee puns, your painting puns, Pierre. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. You might be looking at it being like, wow, I didn't even know this was here. It's beautiful. It looks good. It's like a real show.
Yeah. Subscribe to YouTube. You can see the costumes on this very festive day.
Right.
So I would say, what would I want I would want him to, I don't want him to be too cool to dress up.
Right. You can't, too cool to dress up, not getting laid.
Uncool.
Just don't go out.
Right. Yeah. Don't have an attitude.
Right.
But I am okay with like a subtle costume that isn't showing I don't want too much effort. I want somewhere between not dressing up and like you said, like here's my like 3-layer deep reasoning why I'm like Huckleberry Finn or whatever it is.
Huckleberry Finn.
I don't know why that was the first thing that
I know,
came to mind.
I agree. Like Thomas David Thoreau. You're like, get out of here.
Just
be smarty
like,
pants.
I think like I don't know, something like that requires
what if they dress
30
up?
minutes of effort.
30
Total.
minutes of effort
Yes,
will get
for
you
a man.
laid.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
What do you think, like for a woman? Obviously, like
I like when a woman goes funny.
what would be like? What would make you like intrigued? What kind of costume?
Here's the thing. I like when a woman goes sexy, obviously, because as a man, this is just like unavoidable. But I would like I like when a woman goes funny. Like I think 30 minutes to like a costume. Like I don't like the pop culture one of the year.
Okay.
I always think that's like annoying. I don't know why. That's just me. When I see you dressed up as like Hailey Bieber with Justin Bieber in the sweatshirt with the hat on, I'm always like, yeah, I remember that meme.
Well, you're gonna love the couple's costume that I'm forcing Mike into.
What are you doing?
I guess it's over. So at this point, by the time this airs, it's done. Yeah. So we are invited to a suburban Halloween party.
Whoa.
Which is our initiation, I think, into like, I feel like I like just moved to a high school or something.
I love this because, going back to our last episode of open marriages and stuff.
This is like the opposite.
Right. Well, also, this is where you see like, what I guess that's how they operate. Like you're gonna see the couple that does Captain Jack Sparrow and his whore. Like I don't know. I mean that respectfully, but I'm saying like you're gonna see. Like, what are you guys gonna go as? If you say Captain Jack Sparrow and you're a whore.
No.
Okay.
That wasn't. We're going as Barbie and Ken though.
Oh, that's
which is the costume of the year, I would say.
Right.
It's okay. It's he was like, that's very basic. I don't really think. He's like, I think we can do better than that. And then I was like, okay, then you think of the idea.
Right.
And then he obviously didn't. So that's what we're going.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what Barbie and Ken are you gonna be?
I got it. We're gonna be blonde.
Blonde. You're going blonde.
We're going blonde
because The Bachelor did like a Ken night. Jorge, you remember they dressed up the men in different types of
different
Kens.
kinds of Ken. Yeah.
So he could be like
we're rollerblading.
Oh, okay. So you're
rollerblading, Barbie
rollerblading.
and Ken, yeah. But
Love
it's gonna be. Here's the thing though, because we don't really know that many people at this party.
Fun.
We know like 2 people, the people who invited us, and then one other couple, and so this is sort of like we're meeting people. So it almost feels like you're dating in that way because I'm like I don't want to be too weird.
Right.
This is like our first impression.
You couldn't come in this bumblebee. You couldn't buzz on in.
Right. I want like. That's
What if
I'm
you
saying.
guys came matching bumblebees?
I'd be like coming in too hot.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
I would
a hot.
feel like that's it's our first impression. Like mustache is like getting on my.
If I was in a couple, I actually think the couple's costume, once actually a couple, is like tells you a lot.
Okay.
Like
what does ours say?
That you're like a team. That you're like Ken and Barbie. Like that's fun. You went down the middle. Again, you didn't go too much.
Right.
There's a way to do Barbie that's like he's like fuddy-duddy Ken, and you go like I don't think you're gonna do this, but you go like. Who's fucking Barbie? Like, who's that chick? You know, like she goes so Barbie that you're like, you know, like that the other husbands are like, boing, you know, like.
Needs to be reined in.
A little, you know, not to say that a husband should rein in his wife, but yeah, like there's an element of like, you know, you kind of just see how the couple operates. Like if I was in a couple, I think I would go like old school 80s, 90s tag team.
Right.
Like I would dress up as a WWE tag team partnership that I was like fond of. But I would think that like I would think it out with my significant other. Like when I see couples that are like 23, a year into dating in a couple's costume, I'm like, fuck you. Like that I don't take any stock in. I take stock in that guy has no friends and she hates all her friends.
That sounds accurate.
Right?
Have you ever done a couple costume?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Have you? With any other, like that's another thing. Like,
this is my first couple's costume. We've done ones together, but I haven't done one with anyone else.
You made it.
You know, we're a
the
team
mountaintop.
now. Yeah, you know, couple's costume, Bill.
A couple's costume is like the new version of like pinning your girl.
Yeah, it kind of
like
yeah.
engaged to be engaged.
Well, you said you haven't done one yet, right?
No, never done.
Because you haven't been engaged. So, but I was talking about this a little on oversharing. It's like, it's in this. If you're in the suburbs on Halloween, no kids. First of all, we're kind of like, what is the appropriate amount of candy to give each? Each
come to our door. This lonely couple.
And no, but like what's the also,
Hansel and Gretel taken away. Yeah.
Come to our door. We'll keep you.
right.
But also, the decoration has to be like we're kind of like we want to do something a little cute, but like you can't over decorate as a childless couple. It looks a little weird.
Really?
I think so. It's like
That's
a little
so
creepy. You're like
interesting.
luring children to your home.
I guess in the same way, I was like I had to acknowledge that saying I dress up as things that kids would recognize is creepy. Yeah,
Exactly.
but I wouldn't think that of you. If you had like a house that was like done up, like that'd be your house. I mean, that could be
medieval. Well, it's not a haunted house. You can't walk through it.
No, but you could do stuff with the outside.
Yeah.
Now you got my creative
juices flowing.
Right.
Well,
give me that paintbrush.
What we wound up doing. I'll have you come over.
I'll draw you
my
up.
House.
Right.
What was I going to say? What we wound up doing was just one tasteful pumpkin.
One tasteful pumpkin.
Yes.
Smiley face, teeth.
No. Not decorated. Just a pumpkin.
Just a pumpkin.
Just
What are you, West Elm? Can't put a face on the pumpkin.
Classy Halloween.
My house is going to scare the shit out of people. When I get the
Why don't you make your apartment scare the shit out of people? Make put your money where your mouth is.
No. I'm waiting until I got the time.
Anyone trick or treating in your building?
There was one. Actually, I almost took a video of it. There was a door with like candy out.
Okay.
And I was like, you want to send that. The video I almost made was like, you always have that like aunt or uncle that doesn't live in New York City that's like, how is it in New York City? Is it crazy? And it's like, we don't even take the candy from these people. Like it's fine.
What would you do if someone knocked on your door?
Get the fuck out. No.
You'd answer
it's mating season. The pollen's everywhere.
You'd answer as a bee.
I'd answer buzz buzz.
And then I don't have any candy. Here's a what would you give out? Here's a
stapler.
condom. There's a single 38-year-old man on my.
I guess all I got are these condoms. Here's some pumpkin spice lube that the Girls Gotta Eat women gave me.
Open your hands.
Now taste it. like I had to do. Someone on the YouTube would comment
how to get arrested on Halloween.
This video will be shown at the trial. This guy just...
He said he didn't have any candy.
Right.
Pumpkin spice flavored lube.
Right. I'm all sticky now. Do you have any wet naps?
This is getting less appropriate the
right.
longer
Well,
we
someone
go.
on the YouTube channel commented on the Girls Gotta Eat episode that like they were like, I just came here to watch Jared eat pumpkin spice lube.
I mean,
that's like we'll do whatever it takes to get you here.
Subscription episode, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But the way they wrote it, I didn't like it. The idea that like came here to watch a man do something he doesn't want to do. It was a little, you know.
Oh, you think that's what they meant?
I guess. I don't know. What's the problem with eating a little lube now and then?
I don't know. It's a good snack.
That's right, kids.
It's like the Curb episode where they're stuck on the like the ski lift, and he like takes out like edible underwear, like eating it.
I remember that.
But happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, everybody. Candace, you gonna give us a pop quiz?
I remember when I was just a lowly listener and you guys did the dating terms that were in the New York Times. Yeah. So on Betches.com, our web team came up with Halloween dating terms.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see if you would know them.
Okay,
let's
see. Let's see if these old fucks have any
relevance. Said you were on the TikTok.
So what do we got first? Okay, so there's Caspering. What would you define Caspering as?
If I had to guess, I haven't heard this one yet, but if I had to guess, I would say Caspering would be if a ghost comes back in a friendly way.
Oh, I was gonna say your child runs away and is never seen again.
Why? Why?
Because he's Casper the friendly ghost. But you're more right.
Your
like
child.
It's a child ghost.
That's so sad.
I was
this is America's Most Wanted.
Right. I don't know. So no, that's your ghost comes back with a. Hello,
hey,
Buzz.
Yeah, what's going on tonight? How are you?
Oh, but I guess so. They haunt you friendly.
Yeah, or they come back from ghosting, but like in a friendly, not acknowledging that they've ghosted.
I actually like this one because I think it happens more often.
Right.
Like this is an actual thing. Like I
right, because like and they don't acknowledge anything.
I've Caspered. You know, like I know this move. You know, responding to an Instagram story out of nowhere. Hello. How you been? Like nothing ever happened.
The worst kind of person.
This is why we tell people to break up with their ghosters.
This is not right.
It's not right.
But you guys seemed so happy.
I was happy.
Well,
I actually liked it.
Well, who is it? Our team that invented this? Because if not, I might just change it.
No, we did not.
You don't have that power anymore.
No, we didn't invent this. A listener actually DM'd a reel and asked, I feel like Jared doesn't know this one, so ask him.
Okay.
Apparently
I know, yeah.
No, Caspering refers to when you let someone down gently. They don't want a relationship, so instead of ghosting, you actually communicate it, but then you disappear from their life forever.
Oh, okay. That
sounds like extremely healthy.
Ghost.
Right. It's a friendly ghost.
That sounds like a healthy ending to.
It seems like giving that a name makes it evil. Do you know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. That sounds like the healthiest thing I've ever heard. Like you tell someone you're not interested, and then you fuck off.
Right. So it's a friendly ghosting. That's
Casper
where
the friendly ghost.
You've demeaned ghosting by even having the association with a friendly ghosting.
It's not ghosting at all.
No.
Blame the TikTok people.
Okay, well, okay, fuck the TikTok people.
The home of the victim? Yeah,
what I'm doing.
I think I can tell you exactly where that came from.
Well, we can put this on TikTok.
Victim World USA, that's TikTok.
Now here's a new TikTok trend. Caspering is no longer has that thing, which is just called healthy communication.
Right.
Sounds a little bit less catchy than Caspering. Caspering is when someone ghosted you and then comes back and pretended they didn't. Changing the definition.
Change it.
Alert the Webster's Dictionary.
Alert the betches.
Yes.
Put out a press release. Okay, what's the next one? Haunting. Ooh. I guess haunting might be what we just described. Like someone who ghosted who comes back.
Yeah.
Is that? Would you agree, or do you have another idea?
I could see that, or someone who's like not. I would say, well, maybe someone who ended it with you, but then keeps like responding to your DMs.
Ooh, just randomly. They go, hey, I don't want a relationship
I'm not interested
right
in a relationship, but they'll send you. They'll like all your stories,
fire emojis,
or, like passively try to interact with you.
I'm more towards your
kind of.
Okay.
So this is when a person ghosts a romantic partner and yet somehow has the audacity to still follow you on social media and occasionally react to things.
Okay, so sort of.
So they might not have broken up with you. They just ghosted.
Okay.
The audacity
but they're still
is
liking your
right.
like Instagram stories and stuff.
Right. The audacity to me is liking and engaging with you. To be following still, I kind of understand how that happens.
Right.
Because, for everyone that's like, the audacity to keep following me is there's another person. The audacity to unfollow after you ghosted me. How could you? You know, like it goes.
I agree. There's no right answer there.
Right. But I like, change that definition too. I think we.
All right. Well, we're keeping it to, then fine. We're changing that one to, they end it with you. Maybe they ghost you. Maybe they actually ended it with you. Whatever it is, they're not dating you, and then they still
interact with you. Well, we should be able to change these definitions considering all the TikTokers that just repeat shit we've said here.
Exactly.
As if it's their own.
Why are they the experts? We're the fucking experts.
Okay, stashing. I don't know how this is a Halloween.
I have no idea what that is.
It sounded like a candy thing to me, so I just threw it
Okay, I'm for it. Stashing to me is like keeping someone on the back burner. I would assume it's like, you're just like keeping up text with them but never ask them out.
Okay, yeah, like you're kind of keeping them in your roster.
Right.
Right.
Candace?
When a person makes the conscious decision to hide their partner from the people in their life, which can mean real life as well as social media.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that one makes more sense.
There's never any introduction. There's never any launch.
Sounds like a lot of things that a lot of men do.
Woo-wee! Yeah.
I like that there's a word for that.
Yeah, I've never thought of it that way. I guess that makes it more. I just literally watched a TikTok of a woman who was like, I'm not going to reveal my boyfriend. She was literally talking about this because I don't want to. And she actually...
Sam Morrill kind of said that.
Sam Morrill, that was on Sunday's Sunday special episode, right?
Yeah.
The conscious decision to me is like, stashing to me would be, it's bad if you don't talk about it. It's good if you do talk about it. Like, I could understand how that's a positive. Because this person that was talking about on TikTok, she literally said the words, and it was one of those moments where you're like, wow, thank God for this podcast, because we are thinking of these things in two different ways. Like, this was very men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Okay. She was like, when I imagined my social media life with a boyfriend, and I was like...
Well, it's funny that's like a thing that
sitting
you're
up dreaming at night
of the post and all the likes that you're racking up.
Right.
Yeah.
When I sit up and look at the moon, how will I post my future girlfriend on social media? It was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's very Black Mirror. Okay.
Right. That makes sense. The graveyard.
Okay.
The graveyard.
Yes.
I call my bed the boneyard.
Buzz, buzz.
No guesses for this one?
This podcast this episode is for us.
Yes.
I don't care. If you don't like this episode, you should just get out of here. Scram.
Yeah, exactly. Just subscribe on YouTube and then leave.
Right. Do us one favor before you go.
Please.
This one's a noun, though, so if that...
Sorry?
But that's very clear. This one's
the
a noun.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Of a list, all the people who have dumped you. I don't know. Is that the graveyard?
The list of people you've dumped. Maybe that's
you've
it.
dumped or they've dumped you. I don't know. All the relationships that are dead.
The area next to my bed with all the old tissue papers after I masturbate.
Gonna buy you a wastebasket.
Candace was visually disgusted by
I'm
that
gonna get you a
joke.
cleaning lady.
So the graveyard is where you put all of the people. Once things have ended, whether you were ghosted, whether it ended amicably or anything in between, you're just done with them. So what you do?
Where do you put them?
What do you got?
They're in your
dolls
phone
made
contacts.
of their hair.
Put it where?
They're in your phone contacts. You change their name to tombstones. So that way, when people reach back out, you have no idea who's reaching out. So you can just leave them alone.
Okay, that's
They're
kind
dead
of fun.
to you.
That's fun. I like the idea of self-help.
It's a closure.
There's a closure thing where you're like, just this person's dead to me.
Right.
Right. There's a number of emojis you could use. You use the
like
zombie.
that.
You could use the rest in
Plus,
peace.
you can delete your text too, so you really can't figure out who that is. Just don't even bother.
I love that. Plus, as women, I feel like we like to categorize things.
You guys are organized bitches.
It's Marie Kondoing your exes.
Yeah.
Pretty much
I like
this
that.
one is dead.
The
Dead to me.
graveyard.
Graveyard. Love it.
I like it.
I'm going to make my own graveyard.
And then the last one is zombieing, which...
That one's more popular, right?
We've heard this before. Zombieing,
Yes.
I think that's when they come back.
Yes.
Yeah, when someone who ghosted you pops back into your life all that time later trying to reestablish a connection, they might gaslight you and claim they never ghosted you, or maybe it was just a miscommunication, or they might offer you a sob story of why they ghosted in the first place.
This is why the advice for this podcast is to dump your ghoster.
Right.
No one can ever claim that you didn't get ghosted when you dump someone.
Exactly.
And, it takes two to be ghosted, in my opinion. To, just say, well, I guess they ghosted, and you never text them, hey, where are you? Okay, this is a turnoff. I'm dumping you. That adds a layer. If you don't want your zombies can't swim, so create a moat.
Well, not everyone agrees, again, on the definition of ghosting.
Right.
So I could see why someone would think they ghost. Again, two people not speaking to each other after a date or after they slept together, not ghosting.
Right.
To me, someone might say if someone slept with them and then didn't text them, that would be ghosting.
Absolutely. I'm happy we cleared this up.
Yes.
Candace, thank you. This was fantastic.
You guys got 0.5 out of 5, but
Okay, a little judgmental, Candace.
Okay.
you tried.
Okay.
I think we came up with better terms than the ones that are popularly used. So I would give us a 110.
Right,
I'm
there
used
we
to
go.
getting good grades, and this is a big deal for me.
This is an artist.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
We're going to jump right in now. Do you have anything to announce before we get into the email?
Yeah, I do. So, Baby Steps, my fertility podcast, is out now. It
Love
comes
the
out.
name.
Thank you. There's 2 episodes out already, and new episodes every Friday. We have a lot of fun. We interview. I mean, it sounds weird to say we have a lot of fun, but we do have a lot of fun. You learn a lot,
Yeah.
and it's all if you know what I mean. It's kind of like this show. It's a heavy topic that we've made digestible, light. You hear other people's stories. We're keeping it light. We're keeping it fun. And if you or anyone you know is having fertility issues or is going through some stuff or just interested in the topic, check it out. It comes out every Friday. It's a passion project of mine.
Well, this is what Betches does best. Taking a topic that behind closed doors, kind of whispered amongst friends,
Right.
and having fun with it
Yes.
in an appropriate way. And what you just said towards the end is true about this podcast. People, I hear from people, someone gave me your podcast during a breakup, is what I hear a lot. I'm sure you
Yes.
hear this too.
For sure.
Podcast is like part of a care package. Someone who's going through the birthing process, and which is
Right,
as
it's a
you've
very
talked about.
emotionally charged thing. It feels very heavy. Sometimes you don't want to touch it. Mm-hmm. We're letting you touch it in a way that doesn't feel so intense. It's
Right.
it's approachable.
And maybe you give it to someone who's going through that. That's the care package from you. What a gift. To help someone put their brain on the shelf, or hear that someone else is going through it or has been through it. And to men, I think if you're a woman going through this who listens to what a thing to give to your husband or your
Totally.
the man in your life or whoever you're getting pregnant with.
You can learn a lot.
Right.
On the show, yeah,
Also,
for
how
sure.
to talk.
Right.
We talked on a benefits episode just about going through this process and how you were in an argument with Mike, and I was like, yeah, I don't know how
you would handle that
it
either. Yeah.
So
it has good. That's what I'm saying. It feels absurd to give this to discuss this show while I'm in this mustache, but yeah, I'm really proud of the show that we've made. It's 9 episodes, and it's if it does well, maybe we'll do another one. But check it out. I think there's something for everyone really in the show, and there's interviews with all sorts of different people with all sorts of different stories.
Love it. I'm on the road. Yeah, my road appearance is as important as the podcast.
They are. They're all things that you can do to cope with the stresses of everyday life in different ways.
That's
what we
our
provide.
job is.
Yes.
That, in case you were wondering what we do, because some of you don't seem to know based on the DMs I've received.
Well, that's the thing.
You thought I was a Middle East expert.
There's a demand from people online that everyone have the same contribution in society across the board. They want you and Biden to have the same,
Me and Bides?
That's what I'm saying. They expect the same expectations of both of you.
Right.
So I think everyone's contributing to the way they can, and yours is these shows. So
in this podcast, mine is to be entertaining.
Exactly.
Okay.
Take
DC.
the edge off.
What?
I said to take the edge off.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to sting you with something you don't expect.
It's hot in here.
It is hot. I am wearing a garbage bag, by the way. Okay, I turned
Sorry
off the
for taking
fan.
off the mustache.
Maybe I should turn on the fan.
There's a fan in there?
That's what inflates it.
Oh, wow.
I just turned it on for the people watching on YouTube. I'm in DC this weekend. We added a second show. I would love for people, and we did the venue that we did. I'm going back to that same venue.
Oh, that was a great venue.
We
what
loved
was it called? I forgot.
Turnaround, Capital Turnaround, or something like that. Very cool, fun area. Also, Baltimore. I thought nobody was gonna come to the Baltimore. I thought wrong. I think last week I must have motivated people.
It's always great better than thinking wrong in the other direction.
Oh my God, been there. One time I thought there was a second show. They're like, no, we had to cancel the second show. No one bought tickets. I was like, oh, that is the what a turn.
What a great way to keep your ego in check, right?
I,
Just when you think you're flying high.
Listen, a comedian with an ego is a comedian that hasn't been on stage lately because you find a bomb very quickly.
It's also just funny to watch this bee blowing up, and it kind of feels like you're in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You're like Veruca Salt when she turns into the blueberry or whatever it is.
Yeah. So Baltimore, there were like 50 tickets left last week. So there's probably less now.
Right. Get them while they're hot.
Right. Toledo, Ohio. I'm coming for one night only. One night only. One night. Dania Beach, Portland, Oregon, Phoenix, Arizona, Albany, New York, San Diego, Madison, Wisconsin, New York. That'll sell
out,
I'm gonna be at Town Hall.
Is that sold out already?
Not yet.
When is it?
They better hurry up. February 17th. 4 days before the worst day of the year.
3 days, sandwiched between Valentine's Day and the worst day of the year.
That's right. The great Valentine's Day gift. Boston, Toronto, Chicago, Minneapolis, Royal Oak, Michigan, Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, California. JaredFree.com. Let's do the emails.
Let's do it. Okay.
Let's jump right in.
As we do. Non-Halloween related emails.
You don't understand how good this fan feels.
I can imagine.
Oh my God.
It's toasty in here. My beret is it's getting there.
I can feel the heat under that beret.
Yeah. All right. Hi, J&J Feather. Thank you both for all the time you put into the show. I've been listening to Jared since his podcast was the Total Frat Move podcast and been a listener since the beginning of You Up.
Wow. Okay, P. Original key player.
Seriously.
Love it.
Now to my question. My long-distance girlfriend sucks with her phone. Like she will.
Guess I didn't teach you anything about your language.
Like, we'll leave it in the other room for hours at a time and not care about it at all bad. Obviously, good for her that she's not wasting all her time browsing Instagram endlessly. But as a byproduct of this, she sucks at texting. Some days I won't hear from her at all. And when she does text, they're usually pretty short and not a lot of in-depth convo. We do FaceTime about 1 to 2 times a week, which are usually a couple hours each time, where the conversation is good. But I brought this up to her twice, and she promises to be better. But then nothing really changes. When I'm with her, she's pretty much never on her phone, so I know she's not just ignoring me. And she does this with her friends, too, from talking to them. Her best friend is dating one of my good friends. I really like this girl, and besides this one thing, everything else is pretty good. The relationship is pretty new, 2 months, and I have not been in a relationship in about 7 years, and she has never had a boyfriend before me, so I'm not sure we know how to really handle. I'm 27 and she's 23. We live about 2 hours apart and have been seeing each other every 2 weeks or so. So, what should I do? My bringing it up hasn't really worked, but I feel like this is a pretty dumb thing to end something over when everything else is good. Appreciate all the sage advice and wise wisdom. Thanks.
Interesting email.
Yeah.
I think it's like different at different points in the relationship.
Agreed.
The specifics of this, and then we can like take it in other directions, I guess. But like the specifics of this, 2 months, long distance, see each other every other week or every 2 weeks. Is that what
they said? Yeah.
Those are the facts.
Right. So they've seen each other 4 times.
Right. And you go, some people are so obsessed with, I've been 7 years single, I need a girlfriend or boyfriend, that they kind of go, once they get it, it's like, oh, this is what it tastes like.
Yeah.
You know, like you go, like that honey ain't so sweet.
But
as I've always. I'm just saying, but that's the truth. Like,
Yeah.
I would be. He says everything else is great. What else?
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
understand.
I don't think she's that into him.
Right.
And I think that if you're gonna do a long distance relationship,
Yeah.
you have to. You wouldn't be communicating like that. If you were interested in the person you were with long distance, it's like if you had a remote job, you were working across the country and you were like non-responsive. It's like that's a big part of having a job that's remote. You have to be extra responsive. If you have a long distance relationship, you have to be more responsive than usual because there is not that much FaceTime.
Yeah, and what do they say? What do they FaceTime? How many times? 2 hours apart.
2 to 3 times a week, 1 to 2 times a week.
Like
1 to 2 times a week.
Right, and like the hardest part about long distance is like having appointments without feeling like there being appointments being made.
Right, like you're checking a box.
Right,
Yeah.
and so like that feels like checking a box. That feels like I gotta go talk to the
A weekly
check-in
to make
and
sure that they're into me.
Right, right, and he's emailing us, so he obviously feels a little self-conscious about where he stands in this. I think he has to admit like it's okay to have this girlfriend and go. We always like kind of talk shit about like the person who like let's be together, and then like 2 days later they're like never mind.
Yeah.
But this is what I think this is a scenario where you go, oh, I'm not liking how I'm feeling in this.
Right.
And
he's expressed that already, and she
Right.
doesn't seem to be changing.
Right. So this is what your relationship is.
Right.
So you have to say, am I turned off? And I like there's a thing where you're like, well, I'll see if they want to make a plan to come see me. Like I that would be like a next step, I think, in like a unhealthy relationship.
Right.
Is you go, well, we're 2 hours away and I went last time. Now I'm going to keep score to see, how right I am about whether they like me or not. And it's like, that's a less mature road that most people take.
Yeah.
And we're here to tell you because it's not our problem. It's easy for us to say, harder for us to do, to go, hey, I think you don't like this relationship.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right. And if you did, I don't think this would be that big of a problem.
Right. If everything else was really okay,
Like
if you
he's
were
saying
really
it is.
felt confident. And,
Right. That this person likes you and is
Right.
interested and is doing that. And also just like, I just don't think that I don't think a person who's never on their phone and always ignoring their texts is a good person to be in a long distance relationship with.
Right. They're not admitting to what they should be in as well.
Right.
And this is like one of those moments where we talk about the love languages as a hypothetical and then we never use them in the moment we need them.
Is this one of the right?
His love language is to be texted. I want to feel liked.
Yeah.
I want to feel like you want to talk to me.
Paid attention to.
Right.
That's really what it is. It's not like text. It's not like we want to be texted. It's like
Right.
we want to be like affirm that this person cares enough about you to want to speak to you
Right.
all day instead of ignoring you.
And bad texter makes it like this personality trait that you can't get around. It's like, okay, well then if we're going to do that, you are not compatible.
Yeah.
They are
Well, that's
bad
what I'm
texter,
saying.
and that's
Yeah.
okay. And also, like, the age is playing. Her being 23, like, yeah, she's 23, and like,
she doesn't give a shit
Yeah,
about
right.
you.
doesn't give a shit about you. I 23. We were making assumptions
Right,
of
I'm
like
saying
what you
this
do
real-
at 23.
Right. What is this 23-year-old relationship? She's probably like, there's a good chance she's just kind of like fucking around a little bit.
Right,
Like
and-
she's in a relationship, but she's not like, I'm in a relationship.
Right.
There's a
And listen, I don't know anything about her, but like, and this is a mean assumption to make, but like 23 and a woman, what feels safer than having the boyfriend that lives
Right.
far away and you get
That's
to go
what I'm
out and
saying.
this is something that happens. So
Yeah, I don't think she's like obsessed with you. I don't know.
clearly not.
Good luck. I didn't mean to be mean.
No, we're being honest. I think he needed to hear it. I think he's emailing us, so he wants to hear it.
And here's the thing: if you ask someone to, he says he's vocalized it. If he's vocalized it to her and she continues to not answer, she either doesn't like you that much,
Right.
or she likes not being on her phone that much,
Right,
and
and-
she's not a good match for you.
And if it was 10-year relationship, this would be different.
Right.
It would be, I've known them for 10, I've been in this 10-year thing. Suddenly their texting changed. I'd be like, okay, well now there's a different talk to have.
Yeah.
Or 10 years they've never been a good texter. Yeah, this is who you're with. You have other things that kept you in it for 10 years. What are those things?
Right. This is 2 months. This is you finding out who they are.
Right. Let's do another email. We switched up. We're
did.
doing awkward encounter now. Okay? And I have a personal awkward encounter that I kind of want to add to
I wanna
this.
hear it,
Because
yeah.
it just happened and it kind of relates to this awkward encounter. So what we're doing is, instead of awkward sex, we want awkward encounters, relationship awkwardness. Send it in. And I think this is a perfect example.
Let's hear it. Oh, you want to read the?
I'll read
yours?
it first, and then
Okay.
it kind of like.
And then you'll tell yours.
Hey guys, I'll get right into it. I have a wicked close guy friend.
Is it a
thank
Boston
you.
person?
Boston person.
Okay.
Yeah. New Englander. I have a wicked close guy friend.
Yeah, read it like you're in The Departed.
Hey, I was at Dunkin' the other day. Got an iced regular. I have a wicked close guy friend I worked with for 4 years. He's married, and so am I. I recently transferred offices, but we still talk about once a week to check in and send funny Instagram reels back and forth. Mostly him sending them to me, though. Okay. A few weeks ago at 8 a.m., I asked my husband to turn the volume on my phone up because I was waiting for a call. And he said, "Why is one of your coworkers telling you they have an erection?"
Fair question.
Fair. Little honey in this one. I had no idea what he was talking about because I have never flirted with any of my coworkers. This would be a good time to mention I'm a law enforcement officer. Captain. Cop. That's right. Cop. I like that we got cop listeners. This is great. I work with mostly men, and when you can sometimes be responsible for each other's lives, you tend to become close. Understandable.
Yeah.
So I went and looked at my phone, and this coworker had sent me a video of a Navy SEAL giving a hype speech with the caption, "I have an erection." I knew he meant it was an inspiring speech similar to that made me tear up. Well, let's just not say that's the same.
Yeah, it's a little different.
One's a little, you have to be very comfortable with a coworker to say, I have an erection. I've sent that as in the way she's saying.
Like, I send it all the time.
But to close friends and family and grandparents.
Right.
So that made me tear up, but that's just not how these guys talk. I
understand the context that she's saying.
It was right. I agree. It was very awkward trying to explain this to my husband, who is a therapist and works with almost all women. Yeah, I don't think the women are writing, "Oh, this speech made me wet."
So wet. Yeah.
He did come around to it. And my coworker sent me screenshots showing he sent the same video and caption to a bunch of people, including his brothers, and then I'm just part of the rotation he sends things to. But I had to tell him to stop sending me captions like that. How would you feel seeing a message like that at 8 a.m. on your significant other's phone?
It's almost more embarrassing that the guy had to show her, like, how he made the same joke to, like, several people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just a hack.
Right. I send this to my mom. I send it to everyone. I
make the same joke
a lot. It
worked
for someone, and so it's funny.
What do you think? How would you feel if you saw in Mike's phone a coworker was like, "I have an erection"? I guess.
Right. With the same, and it's explained in the same way. I think if I originally saw that, I would be like, I'd have the same reaction as he did.
Right.
Like, why is a woman texting you that?
Right.
In the morning. I mean, I guess 8 a.m. is better. 8 a.m. is better than 2 a.m.
Really fair point. Right, because it feels less under the the darkness of night type of thing. It feels
like
less
we're texting
sexual.
all night.
8 a.m. Just woke up, saw this. I have an erection.
Yeah. I think I would, if the context were in the same way that this person's sending it, I think it would be okay.
How long are you angry at them? Same exact thing.
At my
husband?
At
your husband. 8 a.m., you see this text. He explains it, shows you screenshots. Are you mad at all?
No.
Not at all?
I don't think I'm mad. No.
Okay. I believe you. I'm just saying, I'm wondering. This is one of those things.
I wouldn't be mad, but there would be a sense of me. She says, wicked close, right?
Right.
She said, we're wicked close. They're together in these, like, high stakes, kind of dramatic. They're cops, right? So, like, that's kind of a dangerous, high stakes, adrenaline running job. And you're so close with your male coworker that you're, like, in that. I think the text wouldn't bother me so much more than, like, the, like, fear of I might be a little scared of the closeness.
The reveal at what this relationship is actually like.
Right.
It's not, oh, that's my close friend from work.
Exactly.
Now it's I have an erection text.
Yeah. And not even because I wouldn't trust him or I wouldn't trust whatever. I think it's just the kind of thing where, like, your loyalty and, like, it's like kind of like a situation, I think, in most people who have these, like, side things is a big part of it.
Like,
you know?
I don't think I would feel comfortable sending that to you. I'm trying to think, like, if I sent you something.
that would be, like, weird.
It would be a little weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send that to you, and we're close friends who send each other things.
Right.
So
I get maybe if you said, but would you send that to like everyone? It's kind of like if it's, but in that context, it wouldn't even be that weird because it would be like so clear that it wasn't, it wasn't just I have an erection.
Right.
That would be obviously extremely jarring. But like if you're sending it in like in response, he's making a joke about something else.
Right. I guess the you know, because, and then this kind of gives me into my story, the tone is lost.
Right.
That you can't control the tone that it's read in by everyone.
In a text.
That's the hard part about text. I don't think
I'd be mad though. I think I would be like, understand it, but I would still be like, okay, you have this like close relationship with this coworker that texts you all the time. I guess he texts a lot of people all the time is what it seems like. But I might be like a little on guard. Just a little like heightened. But I wouldn't do anything, but I would be like
I guess it's also different if you've seen them together and know their relationship versus this is just finding out, right? And just you've never met them and whatever, and you're like, well, I guess you have this relationship with someone at work. That's different too.
Right. I mean, Mike has like female friends coworkers of his that he's like, you know, very good friends with.
Right.
And that itself is not. Again, I think this situation of like this. You're with these people like all day, and I could see how something would happen even if you didn't like try to facilitate it for some reason. Maybe like they're the extreme wicked closeness.
Right.
Mike gives me just like, you know, I think she could do a good job of like reiterating that it's not a thing.
Right. I think showing him the screenshots helps that.
For sure.
I was out last night with a friend, got some dinner, and then I get a text from someone I had gone on dates with. And they were like, is this you? Like, and it was a shot of me following them on TikTok.
Okay.
And it was like
someone
a follow
you
request.
Used to go out with.
Right. And we're cool. Like, used to go out with.
Did you follow them?
I don't remember this at all.
Okay.
And I thought maybe it was like a bot account, because you see that every now and again of like your exact account.
Right.
Just like, you know, going and following people. And I was like, I have no memory of this follow request. I don't remember.
Well, how did she ask the question? Was it like?
We had gone on dates. We've interacted since, and we're cool. Okay. You know, I would consider us cool, and I think she would too. And it was just like this text of like, what? You're following me on TikTok? This is weird. She's like, I promise you, there's not much here. Like,
okay, is that even weird that you would? Follow?
I felt weird.
I don't think it's weird that you would follow her. If that's the context.
Right. I guess I'm not in like the follow mode on TikTok in the way I would be on Instagram. Yeah. You know what I mean? I felt weird. Okay. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was thinking, I was like, I don't want to say like, I was like, I go, honestly, like I have no memory of like, maybe my fingers slipped. I don't know. But like, I was thinking of this, when I read this, I was thinking of this situation with the person that I was like, maybe my finger slipped. Sounds like the biggest bullshit response.
Right. No, but I mean, it happens.
It happens, but I was like, I had to like reiterate. I was like, I don't remember this follow. And they were like, "What is it? That surprise?" You know, like, and I'm like,
well, then that's
I just
almost
want to
worse.
let you know,
it's
right?
Like,
I couldn't.
Right. I would never do that consciously, right?
Right. I wouldn't do that with anybody. You know, like and also like we have this history, so like I don't want to seem like I'm like
you don't care about it enough,
them.
but you also don't want to seem like you care too much, like you're. I get what you're saying.
Right. And I this made me think of that because I was like, it is funny with like with texting stuff with, you're just not sure, you know, like, you know, you're just not sure of the tone, how it's read. Yeah. And then it's like, also with someone you have a history with, you go, I don't want, like, again, we just talked about all the terms. I don't know what, you know.
How they think of the ending.
Right. What ghost term am I? You know, like, you know, am I... You know,
that's
maybe I'm the pumpkin
level.
rolling on in. You know, like, I don't know, into TikTok.
You're a big bee.
Right? So this guy.
The queen bee.
Buzzing around.
Queen bee to you. But yeah, I think, do you think, would this bother you? Your wife?
If I knew my wife and this person together, saw them together, knew their relationship prior.
Right.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
If this is the reveal that, hey, I have a friend at work who I send these things with, I'd be like, I guess you guys are very close, you know, or this man thinks you guys are very close in that way.
I think this wouldn't be a non-issue unless like they're on the rocks, and like I think that's when these things happen, when your like relationship isn't like if our relationship is strong, I wouldn't be like super worried about this.
So let's give it the awkward scale.
Okay.
You know, from
that's good. I like that.
On the awkward scale, 10 is this is
10 is like mortifying.
Right. 1 is like nothing at all.
Right. I would give it like a 3 or 4.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think this is like a 2.
Okay.
Considering they know the
explanation.
relationship and the explanation.
Yes.
The way I see reading this initially, I go, I get why it's awkward for the person. I also understand why it's not awkward for the husband.
Okay. Would
Like,
it matter for you if like you're on 3 dates, you sleep with someone, and then you see that on their phone?
Not at all. I mean, wouldn't even.
Wouldn't think
Would
about
it be a -5? I'd be like, good, I'm off the hook. They got another guy. I don't have to.
I can't wait for our Sunday special. This is gonna be fun.
Let's do another email.
Let's do it. Okay.
UUP@betches.com. Keep sending your emails.
Send it in.
I am getting hot in this beach ball.
You wouldn't believe.
Hit me late.
Hi, J&J, longtime listener and lover of the pod. Hoping you can provide some advice now that I, 32 female, find myself unexpectedly back in the dating pool for the first time since I was 25.
Welcome back.
Glad to have you. Some background.
And now, 32 years
She's back.
old, female, playing strong forward for the Undateables.
That's the announcement.
Right.
Because she's been gone, we should tell you that's how they announce everyone on Hinge
Right.
who comes back.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Here she
Welcome
is.
back.
She thought she was too good for us.
Right.
She's back. Some background. I recently got divorced after a short 1.5 year marriage, but a total of almost 7 years together. My marriage ended because my husband had been having a multi-year affair that started a year before our wedding. Wow.
Brutal.
That's traumatic.
Hey.
We are talking Lifetime movie double life shit. I want to hear that. I wish he wrote
send
in with that
email.
story,
Yeah.
right?
Where's that awkward email?
Obviously.
Awkward. Oh, is that my wife? Awkward. And my kids? And my minivan?
Obviously, it was shocking and heartbreaking, but after many months of therapy, I think I'm ready to dip my toe back into the dating world. My question for you is, how do I approach sharing the story when dating? I certainly don't want to hide my divorce, but I'm also very aware that it is quite a shocking story and that I could be seen as damaged goods. That's her words, not mine.
Yeah, she put it in quotes.
How do I share this info without coming across as having way too much damage than is worth dealing with? I don't want to scare someone off before we even finish a round of drinks. Thanks for everything you do. You've kept me laughing through this disaster.
Well, we're happy we could take your mind off it. As we said, that is our job here, and that's my lot in life. So you've my life purpose fulfilled.
Exactly.
So, you know what's funny? I read this and I had a first thing I wanted to say, and you zoned in on the first thing I wanted to say.
Damaged goods?
Damaged goods. You were
Damaged
very
goods.
aware to make sure the listeners knew, not your words.
Yes.
Those
are powerful words.
powerful words. Also, not from my people. That is not a male thing.
That's not something any man has thought of.
It has, but I from the worst people. But I'm saying, like, I don't own that as a male gotcha thing.
Like, you've never thought that about anyone.
Right. It just feels like it feels like something women say to each other to be mean. Like, if I was to say, like, who owns the meanness, and I'm not saying men aren't mean. I'm just saying that's not our type of mean.
Okay.
Like, I was, like, looking at that.
It's
I was
funny.
like,
There's like this scene in The Sopranos where Christopher says that to, what's her face? Adriana, like his girlfriend.
Okay.
But those are like the meanest men that you could
right,
ever
that
write
guy
about.
also killed people.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, for some reason that sticks out. You see, like, sometimes you see like there's like these like anecdotes or stories or online things of like men not wanting women because they've had some issues or background or baggage or something like that.
Right. I just think it's like if you see it in the comments section from a guy, it's something like he knows is affecting women.
Right.
It's not that he invented. Again,
Right.
this is my opinion.
It's something the meanest person you think of would say.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just feels like something women put on each other more than men put on women.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we're not mean. I'm not saying the idea of like, ooh, that's damaged goods. Like I don't even
I don't
know
think I would
someone
ever
who's.
think that about anyone.
I would never.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't know. Like it's not like a shit talk that I've heard amongst men. I've heard shit talk.
Yeah.
Listen, we buzz around. We know how to sting.
I think this idea of like baggage is it's like a thing that's in the back of anyone's head when they're dealing with anything. Like,
Sure,
will
but
anyone want me if I'm not perfect?
this is not baggage to me. Husband cheated on you. Anyone could be lied to.
Right. No kids.
No kids. I mean, not to say kids are baggage, but
mean,
like
Kids are something that is worked into an equation.
Here's what I'll add to that. It works into your what am I looking for equation.
Right.
There's no I would be it would be weird for me to hear someone go, here's what I'm looking for, a woman that's never been cheated on. You know, I can understand someone would say I'm looking for a woman who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. So like the idea that like this horrific story that you've had to deal with, it's your story. Anyone could be lied to, anyone could be cheated on. The idea that like people who have never been cheated on are stronger people than people who have.
If anything, it's the opposite.
Right. You've been through shit.
You've seen things.
Right.
You're out there dating after that.
Right. I guess the
You
idea
crawl into a hole. Yeah.
Right. The idea that you missed some things that should have been obvious to you now. I don't believe that. I think anyone can be tricked and fooled, and especially when there's love in the equation.
I think when you talk about like baggage or things that someone's dealing with or their past, to me, I've said this about everything. Like it doesn't matter what you're dealing with, your issue or thing is. It matters about how you frame it, how you're dealing with it, and how you describe it.
Right. I would rather. I'm not going to date someone holding luggage that doesn't admit that there's luggage in their hands.
Right. And also talk about the way that they're planning on carrying it.
Right.
They have a plan for how
What luggage?
People say like, oh, I have all this debt. How do I date with all this debt? It's like, to me, I don't care if someone I'm dating has debt. It's more like, what is my plan?
Right.
I care about someone with no plan and
right. I've been in therapy for a few months is a plan.
To me,
I've been in therapy to kind of like get through
I'm
this.
working on this.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I listen, I've been on dates with people who had a story like this and told it to me, and I was just like,
interesting story.
let me hear what happened.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay talking about it. I just like, listen, these things happen. Just like they said, it's a reason it's a Lifetime movie. Like, we believe it because it is a
It
thing
happens,
in the spectrum of things that could happen.
When would you bring this up?
First date.
You tell the whole story?
Yeah. Again, 32 and female, what got you here? Okay. I always like that story at a first date.
Right. You'd want to hear it.
I would expect someone to want to hear it from me.
Right.
How are you 38 and single? Not said in that way. You know, like, how are you single? I know how that annoys people, but
Give me your back right.
Right. When's the last relationship you were in?
What's new with you?
Right. I think these are juicy tales that tells a lot about the person.
If you don't want to tell that story to someone on a first date because you feel like you want to know someone and feel more like connected to them before you tell it, I think that's okay. I think you could just say you got divorced.
Right.
I think you could sum it up, and then as you become, as the dates get more intimate and you get to know each other and less superficial as they do, I think you would tell the whole story.
Listen, you want to trust who you're telling your story to. You don't have to just willy-nilly
tell it to every person you get a drink with.
Right. Well, I would say the measure of a good date is a date where this comes up.
I agree.
Like, you're talking enough.
It's an intimate
date. You trust them with the story. So like, take those words for whatever they're worth.
Right. If you're vibing with someone and you feel comfortable with them, they make you feel comfortable. They make you feel like you can be yourself.
Right.
Tell them who you are.
Listen, Gary, the Golden Bachelor, goes on the first date and the woman says, my husband passed away. And he's like, wow, we have this in common. You might go on a date with someone, you're in your 30s. They're
My wife
divorced
also
too.
had another family.
Right. And she's with your husband. So this might connect you with someone. This might be what gets you talking.
Yeah.
Own it. It's a good thing. It's good that he had another house.
Exactly.
It's good that he was buzzing around.
Makes you more interesting.
Right. Let's play some games.
Let's do it.
Red flag deal breaker.
Okay.
And we want you to send them in. uup@betches.com. We want specific.
Specific is the best.
The best. Hey, right. J&J. And the UUP team. Woo, shout out. Jorge and Candace.
The dream team.
That's right. I have a red flag or deal breaker that actually happened to me. I'd been seeing this girl for about 4 months, and her birthday was coming up. I bought her a cake and took her out for drinks, which I thought was an appropriate celebration. Right? 4 months in?
Yeah. That's nice. I would be like, this person likes me an appropriate level.
Right. When I gave her the cake, appropriate like. When I gave her the cake.
Is that what you would do for someone you were seeing 4 months?
Absolutely.
You get them a cake?
Dinner and dessert.
Would you get them a cake? I feel like that would be
Be a little that's a lot of work.
for you.
If I had time. I don't know.
I don't see you like waiting in line for a cake.
This cake line.
You go if there was no line, you'd get
no line. Yeah. If it's on my way home, I go by a lot of cake stores. When I gave her the cake, she grabbed one fork out of her drawer. What is? Where'd you give her the cake?
That part's weird.
Yeah. Out of her drawer and took about 5 bites from the cake right off the platter. She did not offer me a piece or even a fork. She ate some of it. Put the cover back. That's weird. Oh, here's your cake. Happy birthday.
That's what I'm saying. What is she, homeless?
Right. What are you dating, a raccoon? I saw a raccoon in my building the other night.
In your building?
It was not in the building. We don't live next door to each other. It was in the courtyard of my building.
Oh, it was a courtyard. It was outside.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It was outside,
and
and I literally...
Did you scream?
I went... Ah! It was... I just... It was so unexpected.
Yeah.
And it crawled across the trash cans.
I don't like raccoons.
Yeah, they're like, I mean...
That's
right.
Popular opinion. The weirdest thing about living in the suburbs is you see like a lot of that shit. Deer,
to me, that's
raccoons.
the most normal part about living in the suburbs. The weirdest part about living in the city is that you see a raccoon.
That's true. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a raccoon in the city?
See, rats.
No. Rats
are normal.
Rats do nothing to me.
What do you mean? You don't get scared of them?
It would take them literally running up and down my leg at this point. Like I see them run across the street in the apartment. What am I?
You just said running up and down your leg. That's what it takes. Are they in your apartment?
It's on the sidewalk.
Okay. I was like, what if it was in your apartment?
Yeah, I live with the rats. I'm the woman from
I once saw a mouse in my apartment, and I screamed. I jumped on my ottoman, and then I wouldn't get off. I was trying to reach my intercom to call down, and then I wouldn't get off until someone came up.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you reach the intercom?
It was like a you could move it over. I was inching it forward.
Wow. That's
not like mice.
A mouse?
Yeah.
See, a mouse doesn't bother me. The rats in New York. I mean,
rats are enormous. That's scary. But
big old juicy ass on these rats in New York City. They You ever
just
see
the way
these
you
rat
like
asses?
That's the way you like it thick.
I like them thick. It's fair. Buzz, buzz. When I gave her the cake, she grabbed one fork out of the drawer, took about 5 bites from the cake right off the plate. Okay, so...
put the cover back on.
Put the cover back on, put it in the fridge, and then sat down on the couch. It's a weird reaction to a cake.
I agree.
Just generally. We were absolutely not in a rush to get drinks. I'd made a reservation. We had an hour before we needed to get there, plenty of time, and she did not address the cake again.
Did she address the cake when she got it?
So he walks in, he goes, "Happy birthday." She grabs it out of his hand and then throws it in the fridge.
No, thank you, no offer.
We are no longer dating for other reasons. I think this is a good enough reason. And this was the only red flag for me at the time. But I wonder if it should have been a deal breaker. Would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Cheers. Y'all are amazing. Sincerely, I have no cake, and I also can't eat it. What do you think?
This is weird bad manners. I
right.
think. You don't say thank you. You don't offer someone a bite.
Right. No. Yeah, it's all weird.
You're trying it, then you're just you silently.
Who eats a cake that way? Right off it from the.
I can see if you're giving it if you guys are both eating it from the cake.
Right, you take out the
cute
forks.
Little,
right, it's very rom-com.
Yeah. You're eating it by yourself. No offer. No thank you. No thank you.
Just gonna take a taste.
No thank you.
No thank you is crazy.
You bring someone anything and they don't say thank you.
Cake especially. Cake. The whole nature of a cake
Happy birthday.
is thank you. No one's ever just of course.
Right. Where is this person raised?
Right. What are they royalty?
He doesn't say how he
leave your present at the door and meet me at the couch and eat me out. It just feels very Candace. It's a female listener? Right. Well, we made an assumption.
Yeah, I guess so. Still, either way, I don't think it doesn't
right.
matter to me. Same answer.
Lesbian,
No, thank you?
straight, yeah.
No, thank you.
Right, I don't know. Maybe we should
So
ask
rude.
Emma if this is normal behavior
Normal
in the
lesbian
community.
behavior?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy way to react to a cake.
It's just very non-mannered to me.
Right. Where's the class?
Right?
As the queen bee.
If I gave
I shall not
someone
stand.
anything,
Right.
like
I just don't like any food,
don't
no
share.
offer, you're out.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's not even like there was like one. He got her like a single
Slice.
cupcake.
Right, with a little candle in
Yes.
it. That would be understandable.
And
if she
then
was
you
like,
eat
oh
it.
my God.
Right.
Even that's weird.
Even then, do you want to bite?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's share it.
Very weird. Okay. Deal breaker.
Okay, deal breaker. You're out.
It'd be weird. The breakup would be weird, but like it'd be weird to have to explain that.
Hey, I just like, hey, the way you ate that cake, gonna be a goodbye from me.
Right? If
Right.
you can't share that, how generous could you be?
Right.
But I also think that's an appropriate celebration for someone's birthday. I think that's a good move. That's
4
a good-
months in.
Yes.
Here's your cake.
I got you a cake, and
Right.
I'm taking you to drinks.
I guess the way if I was to give this person feedback on how they gave the cake, I would be like, coming in, close your eyes, light a candle, happy birthday to you, and then maybe the only empathy I can give this person is that the way it was given to them is kind of awkward. Here's your
Right.
cake,
Yeah,
and then you
depends
go.
That's true.
That's the only thing that I can
I have
give
to
them
imagine it was
grace on.
presented like, oh, I know it's your birthday. I actually like. Here
Hello,
you go.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
The idea that a cake is just given to you like it's a notebook is crazy.
Right. I need to know the specifics of the conversation around the cake. She doesn't really
Right.
give that information. All right, let's do another one.
They don't give that information. We don't.
They
we're not
don't give the
positive.
information. All right. They call you hot when they're telling you what they like about you. J&J got this text and thought, wait, what? Maybe I'm so jaded by every Mo, Larry, and Curly. Whoa,
She
who's this
80?
person? Treating me like shit, but this text kind of caught me off guard.
Yoink, 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 yoink. Woo. Wee, 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 wee. Like Mo,
Larry, and Curly.
I can't think of a millennial.
Maybe this is
every
Jerry.
Mo, Larry, and
Jerry,
Curly.
the Golden Bachelor.
Right.
writing in. Here's the deal. We went on 2 dates, and here's the text he sent me after date 2. Let's read
Mo,
the text.
Larry, and Curly. Would you do that order? Larry, Mo, and Curly. Get
I
your
think.
shit straight.
Yeah. All right. So we'll read the text.
Okay.
They went on 2 dates. He sent her this text.
Well,
after
I'll
2
be
dates.
him, he'll be
Okay.
her.
All right.
Wait, the Killers are next weekend?
Yes, F1. I think next Friday.
Had fun seeing you. Had fun seeing you. In the spirit of honesty, I'd love to keep seeing you. I've tried the Hinge thing for a bit and don't really have the energy to play games or drag it out. Not saying anything now other than you're hot. I think you're very intelligent and fun to be around. And that I would love to cook for us sometime. Haha.
Okay. Just feels out of place. I really enjoyed our dates, but I don't know. I'm hung up on him calling me hot. LOL. It just feels out of place. Jared, can you translate? Jordana, is this my anxious attachment style being triggered? I think it's so. I think she's kind of weird, assuming it's a woman. Sorry.
Right.
To me, that's the part that she's turned off is odd. To me, the part that's a turn off is like, where's this coming from? Like this whole.
Right.
What is he even saying? In the spirit of honesty, like he's not. What is he saying? Honest? Like, he's just asking. Just ask you out.
Doesn't it sound like he's being lazy?
I don't even understand what he's saying.
I guess he's like letting her know I'm going to zone in on this. This is where I'm putting my concentration into. Yeah, you're hot.
It's like just put your concentration in, though.
Right.
Why do you have to say that?
I think like
he said it's so funny that she's zoning in on that. I think you're hot. I think you're very intelligent and fun to be around. It's not like you just said you're hot.
right. It's like you're hot, so I guess I'll. No, I think it's the tone of this text. Like I agree with you. It's like the you're hot is bizarre for her to like zone in on.
I think I don't think that you're hot coupled with smart and fun to be around is an insulting thing at all.
Right. I would understand the red flag of like, hey, so this Hinge thing kind of sucks. So I'm going to like, you're hot and you're good enough. Like there is a tone that I would be annoyed at.
Right.
You're fine, I guess. So I'm just going to like let you know that I'm like kind of dating you. You know, that's kind of the tone of this text. And
Romantic,
you go,
yeah.
right. It's not very romantic. It's not very hot. It's not very sexy.
Right. I don't see why he would say this.
I think he's doing a bad job of a very like kind of like sweet thing. Like if the text was, hey, I had a really good time last night. I'm not asking this of you, but I'm going to delete the app on my end, and I'd love to go out again.
Is that what he's saying, even though? Like, I'm trying to make this exclusive? Like.
I think that's even quick and kind of a little bit like
the first
you're
part
forcing
sounds
someone
like,
into a decision, but I do think it's what he's trying to do.
It's interesting because the first part of the text, I thought he was going to break up with her.
Right.
Because he goes, had fun seeing you in the spirit of honesty. Whenever someone says in the spirit of honesty, I'm always like,
it's over.
I'm not interested.
Right. In the spirit of honesty,
I
thought it was
to
like
keep seeing you.
But
weird,
I'd take a blowjob every now and again.
Right?
That's what I thought he was going to say.
I don't have the energy to play games or drag it. I don't think, like, this is one of those people that's so jaded from dating that they think just being normal is playing games.
Right.
It's like,
he's jaded.
Just ask her on a date.
Right.
Like,
just go out.
Right.
Like, I think he's also, like, assuming thinks every guy, well, she did say every Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Treats her like shit. Right.
Right. So, like, I guess maybe they had that conversation on the date where she's like, ugh, they're all just assholes out here. And he, like, took that cue as, like, let me just let you know, like, what page I'm on.
Right.
I think it comes from a place of sweetness that he's written pretty badly. He could have, I agree with you. He could have just been like, that was such a blast last night.
I had such a fun time hanging out. Do you want to go out again this week?
Right. That's
to me, that's like a fun way of doing this, not like, I've seen a lot of things out there and I just, I don't want to be out here anymore. Like, I think you're these things. Would you?
Tapping out.
Yeah. Right. He's making it like more serious.
Uncle, I'm out.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like, and I do think I am empathized because I do think people who have been dating for a while kind of feel this sense of like, they need to like state their like.
If he said this to a friend, I would go, there's a way to say this to a friend that's like fun, and there's a way to say this to a friend that sounds like you just gave up on dating. Like if he went to a friend and was like, I met a lot of people, and this person and I had this like great connection on the first date that I was just like, let me just zone in on this. That's like a fun way to go. Yeah, that's what, it's a very normal way to explain your dating life instead of this like romantic, like, oh, and the date was amazing, and we're like, and she's the only one for me. That's actually a reasonable way to explain it. But if he said it this way,
I don't have the energy.
Yeah, I just don't have the energy anymore. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. And she's hot, so might as well just fuck her forever.
But it is fun. It is funny that that's
kind of what it sounds like.
It is funny that that's the thing that she was like most disturbed about.
Yeah, maybe she now doesn't want to date him for another reason. We were like,
sorry.
Hey, this is a deal breaker for a whole. No, but I think this is not a deal breaker.
Not saying anything now other than, what does that even mean? When he says not saying anything now other than you're hot, I think you're very intelligent, fun to be around. And that I would. He's
trying to say I'm not getting ahead of myself. He's basically trying to say to me this is I'm deleting the app and I'd like to go out again.
Okay. Well,
if you're going to boil it down to like, and listen, we want people to send their text here. We can translate any text. I've never had a text been like, I don't know. I'll have an opinion.
Yeah, send in your texts. I love a good deal reveal.
We love a screenshot.
But yeah, if he had just he changed this would be attractive to me.
Right.
Completely. See, like he said completely off topic.
Right.
Completely off topic. I just want you to know I'm having a really good time.
Right.
And just in the spirit of being straightforward, I would love to hang out next week.
Right.
Cook you dinner. Is that something you're down for? I'd be like, okay, hot.
Right.
Great.
And it's funny, like, there's another side of that, like where guys are like, all I said was I want to go out, and they're like, oh my God, we're in a relationship. But it's like he has the ability to like zone in on the thing that like women want the most, which is like this, directness with also like direct with ambiguity. Cool. Yeah, cool directness is like what women want generally. Like where it's like, hey, I want to go out with you. I'm enjoying my time. I can't be more straightforward than that.
I'd love to go out next week.
Done. And so, like, what would be hotter than that? He's actually gone over the hump of hot into not.
Don't tell us how the meat is made.
Right. Give me a hot dog.
Right. Just say it.
One more.
All right.
They use group pics on the apps. J&J, glad to type in. I just want to begin by first off saying that I love the podcast. Well, thank you. As I was scrolling through Hinge, I found it very frustrating that some of the women on this app post pictures of themselves with their cute friends. At that point, I'm left wondering, should I spend my time scrolling down to see more pictures? Little to no surprise as I scroll down, it's the person I'm not physically attracted to. I find it so frustrating that women do this. They catfish you into wasting your time. This person needs to chill. This is such evil behavior.
On a forum?
Right. What is this? An incel meeting? I don't find posting your friends on your profile is necessary. Just show you. Hashtag just a shower thought.
That he went and emailed.
Right.
I don't think it's as intense as he is writing it. Obviously,
right.
I think one group picture of like 4 people or less when it's already clear which person you are is fine.
Right. And here's
every picture, obviously not great, but he's making it into a good versus evil thing.
Yeah, be less offended, first of all.
People are insecure. That's why they put only pictures of them in groups.
Right. It's not about you.
Yes.
This is about them.
Evil.
And women make profiles for other women. Men make profiles for other men.
Right.
And this is a woman putting herself, doesn't want to be too much. I want to show that I have a life. I want to show that I have friends and I'm fun. So she puts her and her friends. I don't think she's going, well, I'll put myself next to these hotties so that I can, trick a man. It's like no one thinks that way.
Right.
Like no one thinks so little of themselves. You would hope.
I think sometimes there's a sense of like, I don't know, like they don't have pictures that they feel good about themselves. And so they're like,
Absolutely.
Here's this picture. It's kind of like a nothing picture.
Right. We see these profiles all the time at our live show. It's like,
right.
and some people go too far and that's all group pictures. And I get that. That's not because they're a little bit hiding a little bit. Right. They're a little insecure and that's okay.
And men do that. And men do that too.
Right.
I think men will also put group pictures of themselves if they're feeling a little insecure.
Of course. And it's them chugging beers and doing bro shit.
You can't see
and that's an insecurity in
sunglasses.
itself.
It's just like any of that other stuff. You're trying to hide yourself a little bit. And that's like, to me, it's like this guy, this is more of the deal breaker. This guy's the deal breaker because he's making this like a moral thing. And it's like, no, people are insecure. And so they put up pictures where they like feel comfortable.
This ain't about you, dude. Yeah. And yeah, I think maybe they're joking because this is so extreme.
Evil behavior.
Evil, and they're right with all caps. And I hope they're joking. What I would say to them is like, everyone's profile is about them and their insecurities. I am the star of my movie. Jordana's the star of her movie. Everyone else is a side character, even the people you're trying to attract.
Right.
And
you want to judge those people?
It's okay.
Swipe left? Totally
you're
fine.
not attracted. That's fine. But like the idea that your time was wasted because you looked at their profile for 10 seconds.
Right. Who are you?
Dude.
How much is your time worth?
Right. Fuck off. And I would say fuck off to anyone who would say this about anyone's profile on an app.
Same.
That a profile wasted your time.
Who are you? Right.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
But let this be. Hopefully you're listening. Hopefully we took a look in the mirror and we can change.
Yes.
If I can change, you can change.
Buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz.
And we'll be back on Sunday with your Sunday special.
Boom.
The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at you.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.